We are live and we made it. We are here. And so, first and foremost, I want to welcome everybody back. I don't know how I'm going to release these episodes, but if you are here, you know that I'm doing a series where I'm talking to different content creators in the spaces of the teams that I support. And so I am honored that funny story, I actually thought about doing this based off of listening to you on Twitter
Really?
Spaces. So just so you know, you had a hand in me thinking about doing this. And so I thought it would be cool to bring my audience along with me with places that I visit to get content from the teams I support. And therefore, that is why this is happening. And so I will stop talking because nobody wants to ever really hear what I have to say. They usually show up for my guests. So if you want to introduce yourself, tell us whatever you want to say, whatever you don't want to say, but who you are, what your name is, what you do on Twitter if you want to, or I can tell you what I feel like you'd bring to Twitter, and then you can do your own thing. But I also read your little headline of what you said, what you say on your Twitter bio. So
I'm Dalvin. You probably see me on Twitter, Dalvin the Truth. I do Twitter Spaces, and that's really it for now. I'm about to transition into doing some more on-camera things and streaming and things like that. But for now, I just do the spaces where everybody can come up and say their piece when it comes to Colorado.
Yeah. So what I think I know what started it, but was it Jordan Seaton?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about that moment that made you go, you know what? We need to come together. We have to talk about this because this isn't good.
It was actually just random. It wasn't even
Okay.
like it was just me being bored, and like at the time, I was really new to Twitter at the time, so I didn't think I just didn't even think about it. I just went on there and started talking, and then people joined, and then we all started talking. But it was more so like I like to make jokes out of things. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff I do is satire. People take it a little too serious, but it was just to get up there and talk some crap. Laugh because what was going on was kind of crazy. Everybody was in a little frenzy, so it just happened. I don't know, like it was just just
Okay.
random.
I love that. So tell me about your Colorado fandom. What makes you a fan of Colorado? When did you start to become a fan of Colorado? Um, Tell me about that.
I mean, I'm not like shy to say that I'm not a fan of Colorado. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a fan of Coach Prime, so
Okay.
you got to be a fan of Colorado. So it really started from when Coach Prime came over.
Okay. As soon as he came to Colorado, were you like, it's on? Or were you kind of like, let me see how this is going to play out?
I was already following like Coach Prime. So from
Jackson
he
State.
had not even Jackson State, from they had the show on Trinity, I was probably still in high school at the time or just
Okay.
starting
Okay.
college. So from years ago, so that every year since then, there's always been a show every year or something to follow
True.
every year. So I just been following.
True. So I do want to say this is recorded in July. So if something happens, we know how Colorado is. Something probably 9,000 things are probably going to happen before this releases.
Exactly.
And so if people are watching this and they're like, why didn't they talk about this? Why didn't they talk about that? Because this is recorded in July. So leave us alone. We didn't talk about it because it's not happening. Okay.
Right.
So leave us alone. This is before all of that. So one thing, do you consider yourself a content creator?
No, not
No.
yet. But no, not
What do
really. No.
you consider yourself as? Just a
Just
guy?
yeah, just a
Okay.
guy on Twitter.
Nice. So, okay, I have a question. I didn't prepare you for this.
That's
So,
all right.
but I think you can answer it. When the whole Cormani spaces thing took a life of its own, did you ever think, uh-oh, I have something here? Like, yes, this is crazy. And yes, it's wild that even these people even care. But did you ever go, you know what? This is kind of interesting that people are paying attention to this.
Before that, I knew
Okay.
already because it like that was probably one of the biggest spaces moments, but it wasn't the first that made me realize like people are tuning in. But that showed me like I got some reach because it was
Yeah.
everywhere. So, but from
Yeah.
before that, I already knew.
Okay. I just think it's funny because I I have 3 teams and I have other stuff I'm interested in. So I feel like I'm in and out. Like I'll listen to things for like 10 minutes and I gotta go.
Right.
But it's interesting that I always know if something's going on, you will have a space and then I
Yep.
can look at the title and I can go, "Oh, okay, that's what happened. Oh, okay, cool." And I can listen for, 10 or 15 minutes, or sometimes I'll clean the house and I can just listen to what's happening, but I can't stay too long because I get I don't know if I'll call it social anxiety, but when so many
Mhm.
people are always talking at the same time, I'm like, I can't, I don't know voices. I don't know. So I feel like I'm doing this thing where I'm like, who is that? What are they saying? What are they saying? So
Right.
I appreciate it. And I think it's cool. And kudos to you for doing it and providing spaces and bringing up people to talk. So what have been your favorite like couple of moments since you've been in this space that
Um.
you really enjoyed or that you think about often or that you
Uh.
think about more than anybody knows that you think about?
One moment for sure is being able to talk to Coach Prime. Like I did a Zoom interview with him, so that was a cool moment. And like just the spaces in general. I think like we have so much funny spaces that, and not only about Colorado. It's just a fun thing to do. So I enjoy doing it. So those two things are something I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Did you pinch yourself when you were talking to Coach Prime?
No, that's what made it so cool is that he knows how to make you feel like you knew him already. Like when I
Cool.
first, usually, like I said, I'm not much of a talkative person in real life and on camera kind of person, but he made it seem like I didn't even feel like I was talking to somebody of his magnitude. It was just
Yeah,
seemed like talking to another person.
that's good. I think it's interesting that you say you're not really a talking person, but you've created a thing where you're talking.
Right. Yeah, it is funny. Because I
Yeah.
always had that personality, but just growing up a little bit, I kind of fell back on that and became like more of a quieter person, a more observant person in real life. But I think like spaces and this whole content thing kind of helped me bring my personality back out a little bit.
So I have to know, and I didn't prepare you for this at all either. And just so everybody watching this knows, yes, I'm asking him questions I didn't prepare him for, but I have also told him I have edit power. So I'm not asking
Yeah,
if he chooses not to answer any of these questions. This isn't a setup. He can say whatever he wants
it's
to
fine. It's
say.
fine.
But when I messaged you and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. What do you think about it? Would you be interested? Were you kind of like, oh, I don't know? Or were you like, maybe? Like,
I
how
mean,
did you feel about it? Because it's like a recognition that you're doing something
right.
that people are recognizing.
Now, I just was, it depended, like to me, it depended on what we would be talking about. Like I said, I'm not the
Okay.
biggest X and O's guy. So, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be, but once you told me like, and sent me the questions and stuff, I was excited for it. Cause
Okay.
that's the type of things I rather talk about.
Nice. All right. So tell me what you think your superpower is. Is there a skill that you think that you have that keeps you going or that is like uniquely you?
Um, I think just being relatable. Like I think when you're doing content and stuff, everybody has their target audience, and people that enjoy the things. I think me being relatable and authentic and like being raw and unfiltered is what makes what I do like so enjoyable for people.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that. What do you like most? Like, what has been your favorite thing about this? Because you do cheer for Colorado also. Like, you didn't just start a thing and now you have to do it because it's successful. You get to actually talk about things that you like, and you get to
Right.
celebrate the things that you like. You get to talk trash about the things that you like. Like, what about it has been like your favorite part about being able to do what you love to do with the team that you actually support?
Just the interactions with like people from different places. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it made me realize how much a lot of people from different places could be alike. So I like the interactions about with it.
Yeah. I actually, although sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes you'll drive me crazy, but that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be for everybody all the
Right.
time. But there's moments where I'm like, I like that this is here. It's like another
Right.
avenue, something that was different. So I appreciate it. And people have often told me they're like, you listen to Twitter Spaces? I'm like, yeah. Like There's something for everybody.
Right.
So I just appreciate that you guys do it and put it together. So let's talk a little Colorado. And like I said, you have the questions, but what does success look like this year? Like, what are you once this year is over?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? You know what? We did this thing, we did that thing, and this was a successful season.
I'm not like one of those people who try to raise the bar super high because I'm a realistic person. So for me, like making a bowl game, obviously just improving from last year is success to me. But I think the ceiling could be way higher. But a bowl game at least.
Well, what do you think the ceiling is?
I always say, like, even on space, I always say I think that this season could go really good or it could go really bad. So I think our ceiling, like, I think this team is good enough to beat anybody in the Big 12.
Okay.
So I think the ceiling could be, like 10-2.
Okay. Okay. I was curious to know if you were going to say 12-0. That's honestly why I asked the question. I was just curious to see where you're going to go with that.
I'm not one of those.
You never know. You know that they exist.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think? So, okay. Everybody loves to talk about Colorado.
Right.
Good, bad, and different. I've been on record of being, I feel like I'm pretty objective. I feel like I treat Colorado the same way I treat Texas, the same way I treat the Steelers. They get the same treatment for me. Like, it just is what it is. But what do you think people don't see that we should discuss more when it comes to Colorado? Because we all do the bullet points, the headline, the whatever. But what do you think we should be talking about more that we actually don't talk about that's happening with Colorado?
Yeah, that was one of those questions I was like, I don't even got a real answer for because I feel like everything, like you said, a good, bad, and different, everything gets talked about with this team. So
Okay.
I would say when I watch a lot of the media pundits and what they say, I'll just say people don't talk about the quality of players that came in compared to the quality of players that left. You know what I'm saying? People they just play the numbers game. Oh, this much left, this much came in, but they don't see, the quality in the quantity. So probably just that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I could see that. That's actually a really good point because you're right. It is a numbers game.
Right.
Is there any games this year that you are looking forward to seeing Colorado play?
Well, like, doing that, I do what I do on Twitter. I done ran into somebody from every fan base that I can troll. So, I'm looking forward to every game, but obviously the rivalry games are probably at the top, Nebraska and Colorado State.
Okay. I can keep a secret, and this will release after you make your decision. Are you going to pick Nebraska?
No.
Okay.
I got like a video being made and a Hayes Fawcett edit coming too. So
Okay. Because I was like, if he does this, I will have to be a lifelong supporter because it is going to be ballsy as hell. But I was like, but I don't think he's going to go there with it.
If I did that, then the whole time on the game, I would lose on purpose.
That's why I was like, this could mean some things, but
it's just a little troll.
Yeah, no, that's what you're in the business of, right? Like, that's what makes it fun. Because I sit back and watch people try to troll you all the time. And so it's funny whenever you're just like, yeah, here's a little something for that. So, and also, because I don't think I've ever told you this, I want to commend you on you being you and just standing on it. Like, whatever it is, you're going to stand on it. And I appreciate that because I think so many people get in this space and they almost are not enough, or they aren't, or you know what I mean? It's like a timid thing, but I appreciate that you just go there, even when it's hard or bad news, or like, I feel like you're just in it. And I appreciate that because I don't think a lot of people, you're a fan of Colorado. People know that you're a fan of Colorado. You could choose not to talk about certain things if you didn't want to, but you don't, you just do it. And so I respect that. So never lose that. That's your superpower. Never lose it.
Thank you.
Of course. Is there any team that you think that when you kind of look at them, you're like, they ain't gonna beat us.
All of
Like,
them.
is there anybody where you're like, come on, like,
Nebraska. Um, all of them. Honestly,
okay,
like some
who?
people.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's just I was gonna ask you a different question, so I want to hear what you have to say.
Some people act like we're fielding the same team. Some people act like the team last year was that bad. You know what I'm saying? So I think when I look at every team, I know, like I said, a lot of people from doing all this interactions with people don't know who's on the team. They just say you're gonna lose just because.
Just
Like
yeah, that's true.
they don't. So when I look at the teams and what we got, there's not nobody that I think we can beat, or it's like way out of there. We don't play no juggernaut, so
Fair.
ain't nobody.
We ain't worried about them.
Exactly.
Is there any team? So again, question I didn't prepare you for. Is there any fan base or any fan of a team that you've come in contact with that made you think differently of that fan base or that team?
No,
No?
because
Okay.
opposing fan base, like with me, like I said, I be on there trolling a lot. So they try to troll me. So nah, I don't. There's nobody that's really nice.
Okay. Okay, cool. You know what? Good answer. I respect
Yeah,
it. I respect
ain't
it.
nobody really nice.
I respect it. Okay. Well, come on. I mean, can you give my Longhorns a little, just like a
I
little
don't
bit
really
of,
come
all
in
right.
contact with too much Texas fans, honestly.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, we're cool. Well, some of
Yeah,
us. There's always going to be
yeah, like
the
you're always gonna have that exception, but yeah, I haven't really
yeah.
came in like any negative contact with Texas fans now.
That's cool. Twitter is an interesting space for me because of that reason. Because I see so like all my teams, and I'm like,
Right.
I just try to not get too much into either one because I'm like, this is dangerous. If I get into one thing, then I have to defend every team, and I don't have time
Yeah.
for that. Do you watch the NFL, or are you just into college football?
Yeah, I've always been more into college football. I honestly think the NFL is boring compared to college football. Like I like the mistakes. I like, the missing tackles. I like the missing field goal. I feel like it just makes
Mm.
it more exciting. I always think like them professional sports, like college is better than professional sports because the kids are still hungry trying to get somewhere, and you can see it in their game. Like NBA, NFL, kind of a little boring to me nowadays.
So you like the imperfections of college football?
Yeah,
That's interesting. I could see that. Okay, that makes sense. And then I'm gonna ask another question. This is none of I now I'm just interviewing you at this point.
it's all right. It's all right. I'm
now,
enjoying it.
I'm
I'm
just,
enjoying it.
now, I'm just, now I just have things to ask. When you so we're like I said, we're a month away. We haven't even gotten to like training camp or anything. So we still have time. When you think about Colorado, what stands out to you, not named Shedeur, not named Travis? Like when you are thinking about the team, what are things that you usually so like because I've been in the spaces before, and so I'd say something and you'll defend it and you'll have like a sports conversation and it kind of goes on. But like what about Colorado do you think about that people kind of don't think about, but you think about it because like that's your team and you're a fan and you see what's going on?
In terms of like the players.
Yeah, like who so when I did my NFL series and I kind of asked like the newer teams that are like younger and like developing, who is the guy? Like who
Right.
is the thing? I obviously know for Colorado, it's Shedeur and Travis. Got that.
Right.
Who else do you think is somebody that like people should consider as like, hey, do you know we have this guy? Obvious, you know what I mean? Like, do
Yeah.
y'all even know we have so and so?
Honestly, I don't know how he gets left out a lot, but when I've been watching a lot of these, like, there's been a lot of new breakdown videos and stuff of Colorado since Big 12 Media Day. Will Shepherd is one of those players I thought like would be getting a lot of recognition, but I guess probably because he wasn't here during the spring. But Will Shepherd is definitely one that I think
Okay.
a lot of people don't mention much.
Okay. Who else?
Um, Preston Hodge,
That's a
you know,
good one.
yeah, he's another one that people see the school that he was at
That's a
and
good one. Yeah.
don't give him much credit, but I think he's gonna have a big year.
That's actually a really good one. And I didn't That's a good one. Kudos to you for mentioning him.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And then the other question I'll ask you about Colorado, and then maybe, is whenever you look at them as we're getting ready to head into training camp and as we're getting ready to do things, what coach do you think is going to have the most impact on the team this year?
I feel like probably the Phil Oldhold, the O line and D line, and
Oh,
then
line coach. Okay.
Coach Sapp, and the trenches coaches. I think he brought in some better coaches, in my opinion.
Okay,
And
that's a good
you'll
answer.
see the biggest jump from them, I think.
Listen, let's hope because
Exactly.
Maybe
it's just what I know. That's what we need, so that's what
I
believe.
Listen, because I don't want to have to be on Twitter defending you at this point. Like, I want you to talk your trash and say what you want to say and be able to do you, and maybe able to set back and just be like,
right. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for too, because it's gonna get bad if not.
Yeah.
Everybody
I'll be there. I'll be there. You won't know that I'm there, but I'll be there. I'll be there. It's hard for me though, because I have two teams that I have to watch and they play on the same day. So sometimes I have anxiety and then I get to take a deep breath and then I have to go to the next game and then I'm like, what the F? And then I'm still mad at the game that happened. Yeah. And I'm like, and last year, I don't think all three of my teams, I could be wrong, but I don't think all three of my teams won on the same weekend.
Oh, wow.
Or something weird like that. So it was just like, I'm telling you, I had one of my team's offensive line was trash, just terrible, just whatever. Then Texas was hella talented, but some of the offensive play calling pissed me off. So I was on Sark's ass a lot. I'm like, what was that play call? There's that. And then the Steelers are just the Steelers. They always frustrate me. So I feel like this year I'm waiting for the moment where I can be like, ha.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So as we kind of close out here, have there been days where you just don't want to, where you don't want to create a space, or you don't want to talk about Colorado, or you don't want to do anything, or you just don't feel well? And if you've had those moments, what motivates you to still do it, or to still keep going, or to still give to the space that you basically created?
Not really, because for me, Twitter, this whole space, or the whole, college football Twitter community is something that has become more like the escape that I sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
It'd be so much going on in the real world and in real life that sometimes it's cool to be able to just, step out of that lane and step in this one and shut all that off for a couple hours. So not really, it's kind of became like my piece a little bit.
So it's helped you.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. And then what is something that you tell your younger self? You can talk to younger Dalvin.
Don't be afraid to do things, because you're afraid of what people are going to say. Because like I said, where I'm from, how I grew up, this might be a little corny or weird to some people. You know what I'm saying? And you'll try to hide it or not do it, or not step out your box and try new things because you're so worried about what other people are going to say. So that's one thing I learned from this is just do what you do what you want to do, and don't worry about what nobody else got to say.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's why I have all this hair in my head and all these colors.
It's nice. I like it.
People are so triggered. They're like, why do you have all those colors in your hair? You're supposed to look professional. I'm like, this is professional. I like it. So leave me alone.
Exactly.
Is there anything else before we end that you would like us to know, that you would like us to know about Colorado, that you would like us to know about you? Or is there anything that, as you were gearing up for this conversation, that you were like, I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to make sure, whatever that is?
Not really. I just think for whoever's watching this, they have to understand that, to me, Dalvin is like a character. And it's a lot of the things I say, a lot of things I do, people be like, you're a meat writer, you're this, you're that. That's exactly why I do it. You know what I'm saying? One thing I can say, I understand engagement, I understand the internet very well. So a lot of things is just satires, jokes. I know if I say, damn, Coach Prime is the GOAT today, just out the blue, it's gonna have people upset. So I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things I do is because of the reaction the haters give. So, you know,
I love
everything
that.
that I do is on purpose, basically.
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, but I think that's part of being a content creator is I you've watched a couple of my, like some of my videos.
Yeah,
I could come on and I could be like, everything's great, everything's sunshine and rainbows, we're good. And it's like,
exactly.
oh, okay. But like, what is it? You know, like
Right,
go further. So I don't think people realize what it really takes to be the face of something or to keep something going.
right.
And so good on you for saying that. And then I just want to say before I end this, I need you to send me that photo that you have as your Twitter profile so that I can have that be the thing
I
that
got you.
I put on the thing because I think it's cute and I love it. And so I need to add
That's
that to
that's
the
why it's
thumbnail.
there. You know, it's the character. After a while, I gotta put a face to the character. You know what I'm saying? Before I start
Yeah.
getting on YouTube and things like that. So I
Yeah.
got
So I know I said I was going to end this. Is there anything that you want to share with us about what we should look out for next from you? Because I know that you've told me about some things that you're thinking about doing. I don't know if you want to say any of that here or just kind of leave it what it's at, but it's up
I
to you.
mean, you could just expect to see me on camera a little bit more, doing more actual content outside of Twitter. You know, like I said, me and Coach Prime have had some conversation, and you know he wants to support whatever I do. So you know, it motivated me to like I said, step outside my box and try something new. So you're gonna start seeing me on camera more, streaming the game, things like that.
Yeah. So I'm obviously older than you. We've had this conversation and you better not say anything. But I need you to know that I'm proud of you. I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you for stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm proud of you for being consistent. I'm proud of you for just staying in it and standing there and taking it and doing you because I think we don't do that enough, but also you also don't get complimented enough
All right,
for doing it. So I wanted you to know that I appreciate not just you coming and talking to me, because obviously you didn't have to do this,
right,
but I appreciate that you're doing what you're doing for you and that you enjoy it and that you love Colorado and you don't care who knows it. So kudos to you for doing that and being in the space and doing everything you do and bringing all these laughs and screaming and all the things you're bringing. We need it. So
right.
thank you for doing
Thank you.
that. You're welcome. Okay.
It's gonna go away, right?
And I just keep on messing things up. We're officially back. It is live. It is recording, and we're good. So sorry, malfunction, but we're back.
It's all good.
So I think we're on. I think we're on you. I know you started talking, and I had already screwed up everything.
I forgot. What's the last thing I said?
I was just telling you that I was proud of you
Okay, yeah,
for like being you and like stepping in the space and creating something and being consistent and liking it and having fun with it. So
right.
that's where we were at.
But yeah, and I was saying I appreciate you for having me on because I need the
Okay.
on camera help. You know, so I definitely do appreciate it.
Yeah. And yes, like if you're watching this and you are somebody that like doesn't want to do something or you're nervous to do it or whatever, like do it with somebody you trust. Do it with somebody you trust. Like find somebody that you trust that will help you like bring you into something new and create something new for you because I had to have that too.
Right,
And so just like I let's do that for other people. Like extend the olive branch, help people, assist them, like use your talents to help somebody else. Like that's what this is all about. So, and that's what you're doing. So yeah, I appreciated that. You know what? I need that. I'll accept all compliments at any time. So thank you for
right.
saying that. All right, I'm gonna end this now and I'm not gonna screw it up.
Alrighty, alrighty. Thank you.